Hi all, welcome you all for the lecture 4 on computer organization and architecture. Today we'll be seeing about instruction set architecture. Instruction set architecture serves as an interface between the software and the hardware part of the computer system. So instruction set architecture, it is an interface between the software and the hardware. Software, as we know, it is purely a program. So program which is high level program which is understandable by the which is easily readable form, and how that program is being converted into the machine understandable form. So everything in the hardware is circuitry. So machine understandable language is nothing but zeros and ones. How this transition of high level language to this machine level language happens and who is interfacing it is instruction set architecture. So in the programmer's point of view, computer system, viewing a computer system in an assembly programmer point of view, everything it is there in the instruction set architecture. And instructions set architecture consists of instruction sets. So we'll be seeing about evolution of instruction set in these many years. What are all the instruction sets have evolved? And before going on to that, we'll see about the type of instruction available depending upon the number of operands. Okay, this instruction we have seen it in the previous lectures itself. Add R1, R2. This is a basic instruction. We all know this is an opcode and this part is called as operand. Opcode is nothing but operation that has to be performed on the data. And R1 and R2 is operand, which is nothing but the data on which this operation has to be performed. So the total number of operands available here is 1, 2. So this instruction is 2 operand instruction. Again, depending upon the operand, the second classification is add R1. So this is also possible. This is one operand is present inside the register R1. The other operand required for this addition purpose is present inside the special purpose register called accumulator. So the accumulator will hold the second operand, the other operand is present in R1. So this instruction has only one operand. Implicitly, the value that is present in the accumulator will be taken by this instruction. This instruction is called one operand instruction. So the third one is add R1, R2, R3. So this is 3 operand instruction. So what will happen in this case is the value present in the register R2 and R3 is added and it will be placed inside the R1 value. So this is 3 operand instruction, which is simple as simple as that. And there are 0 operand instruction also available, which is available in case of stack machine. So we'll be seeing in detail about what will happen in case of 0 operand instruction. So depending upon the number of operands present, these are the type of instruction: 0 operand instruction, 1 operand instruction, 2 operand instruction, and 3 operand instruction. And now we'll be seeing about what is the evolution of instruction sets through these years. So in the evolution, the first instruction that we'll be seeing is stack machine. So stack machine, as we know, stack is last in first out. It is one way opening. Okay, now these are the instructions. All these X, Y and Z are memory locations that are inside the main memory. So this is your main memory. Assume that this is your main memory. X is a location in memory and the data will be present inside the location X. Y is again a location in memory and data will be present inside the location Y. So push X. What will this instruction do is it will go to the location X in the memory, it will pick the data and it will push the value inside the stack. So memory location X. So the data that is present inside the memory location X will be pushed. So the first instruction is done now. Next, push Y. So what will happen now? The data from the memory location Y will be pushed onto the stack. Okay. Now comes this 0 operand instruction, add. So this 0 operand instruction, it is solely available in the stack machine alone, wherein it will pop the top 2 element of the stack and it will perform the intended operation, that is add, and the result will be pushed into the stack again. So what will happen? It will pop these two values and it will add the values that is present in the location x and location y and will push it again into the stack. Finally, what will happen? Pop z. So the value that is present inside the stack, that is the result, the added value which is present inside the stack, is taken to the location in memory z, and it is placed inside. The value of x plus y will be placed in the location z. So now this is how it is done. So this instruction set is stack machine instruction set, which is used in 1960s to 1970s. So the special purpose register used is here is top of stack. The stack pointer, which is pointing to the top of the stack, is used for manipulating the data. Okay, all the instructions available is either single operand instruction or zero operand instructions in this instruction set. Moving on to the next type of instruction set, it is accumulator based instruction, which is being used in 1960s. Accumulator, again, it is a special purpose register which is used to store the intermediate results in the arithmetic and logical operations. Now let's see, load x. So there is only one operand available here, and in an accumulator based machine it is assumed that the other operand is implicitly accumulated. So what will happen? Load x, again x, y, z, all these three are memory locations in the main memory. So value in the location x will be taken and it will be stored in the accumulator. So this is what will happen. Accumulator value from the memory x will be taken and it is placed inside the accumulator. So first instruction is done. And add y, again here there is only one operand mentioned. So by default the other operand is present inside the accumulator. So what will happen now? Accumulator is equal to accumulator plus memory in location y. So the value from the location y is taken as one operand and the value in the accumulator is taken as a second operand. These two are added and the result is stored back to the accumulator. Now moving on to the next instruction, store z. So the value that is resultant value that is present in the accumulator is stored in the memory location z. So memory location z is stored with the value that is present in the accumulator. So this is what is happening in the accumulator based machine. Here in this accumulator based machine, one operand is from the memory, the other operand is taken by default from the accumulator. So this is all about the accumulator based instruction set. The third instruction set that is being used in 70s to 80s is memory instruction set. Memory instruction set has two kinds of instruction, 2 operand instruction and 3 operand instruction. We'll expand and write this. So all this A, B, C, everything is there in the, they are location and memory. So what will happen? We go pick the data from the location A in memory, we go pick the data from location B in memory, add the both and place the result in A. Similarly here, location in B and C, data from location in B and C is picked, added and it is placed in the location A. So this is expanded, this can be expanded like this. Memory in A is equal to memory in A plus memory in B. Okay, so data that is present in A, data that is present in B is added and it is placed in A. Here in this case, it is obvious, memory in A, B, memory in C. So the data from B and C is picked and it is added and the value is placed in the location A in memory. So this is all about memory measure. Obviously this is going to be slow compared to that those registers, those instruction set which uses register, because all the data is present inside the memory itself. We are not bringing any data to the processor to the processor, which means to the registers to do the manipulations. So this is obviously slower and compared to that of those instruction set which are using the registers. Okay, moving on to the next instruction set, it is register memory in machine. So as the name itself suggests, register memory. One of the operand is present inside the register, the other operand is present inside the memory. So now let's see the example. Load R2, X. So the value in the memory location X is taken and loaded into R2. So the first one is R2 is equal to memory of X. Okay, and the second instruction, if you see, value one operand is taken from the register, that is R2. The other operand is taken from the memory, which is at the location Y. So what will happen here? R2 is equal to R2 plus memory Y. So one operand will be taken from memory location Y, the other operand is taken from register R2. Both are added and it is placed in R2 again. Okay, the final last step is, so the computed value that is present in R2 is returned back to the memory in the location Z. So memory Z is equal to R2. So this is the expansion of instruction here. As we said, here register memory machine, which is being used in 70 still present. It involves one operand in the register and the other operand is in the memory. So this is all about the register memory machine. The last and final one is register machine, which is used from 60 still present. So let's see. First one is load R1, X, which means loading the value from the memory location X to R1. So R1 is equal to memory location X. Next, R2 is equal to memory location Y. Okay, so here if you see, every addition, subtraction or every arithmetic and logical operation involves only the data that is present inside the registers. Okay, so everything should be brought into the registers. So this is R3, this is R2. Okay, now R1 and R2 are the value from the location X and value from the location Y are brought into the registers R1 and R2 respectively. Now the addition is done. Addition is nothing but everything in the register. So R3 is equal to R1 plus R2. It is done. And finally, the value in the R3, the result value in the R3 is stored back to the location Z. So memory location mem Z is equal to R3. So this is it. This register machine is also called as load store architecture. Why? Because only the load and store instruction can access the memory, main memory. Okay, not other instructions, say add, subtraction and everything deals only with the registers. Okay, only the load and store instruction can communicate with the main memory. It can get the data from the main memory and can store back the data to the main memory. Hence it is called as load store architecture. If you see this evolution, these are the earlier evolved instruction sets. All these instruction set uses special purpose registers mainly. The currently used instruction set uses general purpose registers, most of the general purpose registers mainly. This is better compared to that of the earlier versions because there are nearly 32 general purpose registers available in almost all the instruction set architectures available, and bringing the data to the register is simple and manipulating the data is faster when compared to that in the memory. So all these advantages makes register memory and register architecture much more faster than these architectures. So that is, these two are used in the present scenario. Okay. Then what else? So that's all about the evolution of instruction set. In the next class we will see about the types of instructions available in an instruction set. And thank you for watching this video.